Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to our Minds and Hearts Enlightened Capital Campaign Kickoff here at Jesuit. All those present and all those who are watching via live stream video, my name is Father John Brown. I am the Superior of the Jesuits here at Jesuit High School. I'm very glad to have you all with us. First, I'd like to welcome some of our campaign volunteers. Unfortunately, not with us, we have a few of our honorary chairs, Janet and John Ryan, class of 1970, Sue Ellen and Joseph Canizaro, and Paulette and Frank Stewart, class of 1953. And if you don't mind standing, please, Mrs. Benson, one of our honorary chairs here. And if you could stand, please, our operational chairs, Liz and Terry Creel, Karen and Peter W., Missy and Gerald Duon, Jennifer and Dennis Lauscha, and Yvonne and Jeremy Manchesky. I'd also like to ask if you could please stand anyone who has been volunteering for us as part of the Minds and Hearts Enlightened campaign team. So any division chairs, any captains, please stand. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. So now on to our program. As with everything here, we start with the classroom. As I welcome one of our best teachers here at Jesuit. She has a great story and a great heart. Our math teacher, Miss Leslie Merritt.
Good evening. My connection to Jesuit High School began when I fell in love with a member of the class of '80. That connection grew stronger once my husband and I were blessed with 4 boys, all of whom graduated from Jesuit High School. Yeah. But this evening I speak to you because I am a teacher here at Jesuit High School with over 30 years' experience in the classroom. I'd like to recognize all of our faculty and staff that are in attendance. Please stand so we can thank you for being here. What a blessing it is to be in this place, a place that is concerned about the whole student, mind and heart. As a member of the faculty, we are encouraged to challenge and support each and every one of our students. When I first stepped on campus as a teacher, I was in a rather warm room up on the 4th floor, or the 3rd floor if you were here when we had the basement. Though it was adequate then, it would not be sufficient now. The newly renovated rooms with flexible lighting, new furniture, technology, communicate both to the faculty and students that Jesuit wants to provide a professional environment conducive to learning. And by doing so, teachers are able to stay focused on what is most important, helping our students grow in mind and heart. I am grateful for the contributions, both past and future, that help me and my coworkers continue the mission of Jesuit High School. I am grateful that I am a member of a faculty where 100% of us are supporting this campaign with financial support or volunteering or prayer. I am grateful for your attention and hope that if you have not already done so, you would consider joining us in this campaign for our present and future students. And I am grateful that I get to introduce to you one of my past students, Mr. Langston Goldenberg.
Thank you, Ms. Merritt. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for asking me to speak this evening and to represent today's student body. I'm blessed to serve as this year's senior class president, and I'm proud to report to you that school spirit today is electric. On behalf of my fellow Blue Jays, I want to thank our president, Father Franck, for his leadership and foresight. and at the same time, offer our thanks to the presidents who have preceded you. In fact, I think we're the only class in Jesuit's history to have been led by 3 different presidents. So Father McGinn, Father Frank, and of course, Father Fitzgerald, I know you're watching over us tonight. Thank you for your focus on our future. And of course, thank all of you here tonight for what you have already done and for what you will be doing to strengthen and secure the future of our school, Jesuit High School. And there's another point worth making. While we're the foundation of the good work happening, of the campaign and the projects won't end until the class of 2023, this year's 8th grade class, walks across the graduation stage. What an exciting time to be a Blue Jay. I won't compare us to a shining castle on a hill. Not yet, anyway. After all, for every new desk and new computer, there are old tiles and tired lockers, something my grandfather, Ronnie Barrett, class of '58, noticed during a recent tour of the school. But isn't that the beauty of the place? That blend of old and new that reminds us fondly of the past, but keeps our momentum moving forward. Finally, I want to let all of you know how appreciative we are that students are being included in every phase. It started with Father Fitzgerald asking for his students' input in his strategic planning. Just a month ago, Father Frank spoke to a general meeting of our student council to bring us up to date on the campaigns and the challenges for us to be part of. No definite plans, but Father Frank, I want you to know that we are stoked, my word, and passionate, your word, about the Minds and Hearts Enlightened campaign, and will come up with a creative and inclusive way to make sure our dreams are realized, not just for us, but those young men who will follow in our footsteps on their journey to becoming men of faith, men for others, and leaders for our world. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce the president of Jesuit's Alumni Association, 13,500 Blue Jays strong, Mr. John Zollinger, class of 1985.
Thank you, Father Brown. I am so honored to serve as the president of the Alumni Association this year as a follow-up to serving as the chair of the Alumni Giving Drive for 2017 and 18. Tonight, I proudly represent the alumni of Jesuit High School. Thus, I am calling on the alumni as a group to continue to support Jesuit in its growth to develop the young men that will lead this community into the future. Thank you to all those alumni who have been part of the effort to date, and I know we will be successful in keeping Jesuit on the forefront of preparing the leaders of tomorrow. I have witnessed some wonderful actions by my fellow alums. 500 plus turkeys for deserving families at Thanksgiving. Countless winter clothing items, socks, and shoes for the homeless at the Harry Thompson Center. The Angel Tree support for children in the Mid-City during Christmas, just to name a few. Through annual giving, alumni have supported the ongoing operations of the school, keeping Jesuit one of the most affordable private schools in the area, year after year after year. The Minds and Hearts Enlightened campaign continues in a long line of improvements to this Mid-City campus at Carrollton and Banks, which opened in 1926. We've seen the additions like this auditorium and above us the Chapel of the North American Martyrs in 1953 under the leadership of Father Lawrence O'Neill. Father Harry Crane brought us the gym in 1957. Father Schott created the Resource Center and Hall of Honors in the mid-70s. Father Harry Thompson led the drive to build the Louis J. Roussel Jr. Physical Education Building in 1986. Of course, it opened the year after I left. Father McGinn continued the improvements to the campus with the Traditions campaign in 2002 that added science labs, the student commons, and the exterior walkways. Father McGinn also was a driving force behind the establishment of the John Ryan Stadium and Alumni Field, multipurpose facility that was born in 2012. And in 2015, Father Fitzgerald led the effort to restore the Holy Name of Jesus Chapel in what today is affectionately called the 1926 building. If one of Jesuit's distinguishing traits is the connection of its alumni to their alma mater, then I know the Blue Jays of yesterday will enthusiastically do their part to provide the best possible environment for the formation of Blue Jays of today and tomorrow. Thank you, and I look forward to the successful completion of the Minds and Hearts Enlightened campaign.
Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce one of our operational chairs, the president of the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, and my favorite Dixie beer, Mr. Dennis Lauscha, class of 1987.
Thank you. Thank you for the Dixie beer plug. I appreciate it. So great being back on campus. I have to tell you, every time I come back, I get so excited about being back. And as I was sitting here, I was thinking, the last time I gave a speech on this stage, I was running for student government president. Unfortunately, I didn't win. But it's been a long time since I've been in this setting. I see so many friends, family. Jennifer, Patrick, my son's here. We have members of the Saints organization. Greg Benson, class of 80-ish, something like that. Stephen Pate, Charles Vidros. So glad they're here with us. Of course, so many friends here. I see the Stewarts here, and they've been great supporters of not just this organization, but the Saints as well, and we appreciate that. So many others in the room. We appreciate all of your support. AMDG, for the greater glory of God, and be a man for others. You've heard that over and over tonight, and I have to tell you, it's a principle that I really think about every day of my life. Two great lessons that I learned here at Jesuit High School. People often ask, how do you become the president of Dixie Beer and the Saints and the Pelicans? And it's certainly a lot of long hours, a lot of hard work, a lot of 7-day weeks, and very little time off. But it's also, I think, a lot of having that ingrained in you, those principles. I've worked for the Saints for over 20 years, and I've been extraordinarily lucky to have worked with Tom Benson, who was obviously my boss, my mentor, my colleague, in many ways my life coach, and really a big part of my family and entire organization's family. I say family because that was the culture that he really built around our organization. And there are a lot of folks that couldn't put up with the time, the pressure, the hours, but he was always there for us. And a lot of people joke that we had a lot of things in common, he and I, from a professional standpoint. But what I admired so much in him, although being a Brother Martin guy, was that his commitment to AMDG and his commitment to being a man for others was as strong as anyone I've ever met, and that really resonated with me. I wish everyone could have seen the Tom Benson that I worked with day in and day out. Those two principles in his life were very, very important, and it really led the way he did business. Now, a lot of us say he was a tough guy and a grumpy guy, but at the end of the day, he believed in those two core principles, and I believe that's why he was so successful in life. It was, like I said, a blessing and a privilege to work with him. Unfortunately, he's gone, and I will tell you that all of our family at the Saints, Pelicans, Dixie, and everywhere else, are very fortunate and blessed that we have someone who's leading our organization that has a commitment to those principles too, to being AMDG for the greater glory of God, and to being a person for others, not a man for others, a person for others. And I will tell you, as a very proud Jesuit alumnus, a parent of a freshman student, and a former basketball player that spent countless hours on that basketball court across the street, I will be very proud with the announcement tonight. I can honestly say, as I said, I've never met two people that have embodied the two core principles of Jesuit High School more than Tom Benson and Mrs. Gail Benson. It is truly my hope that when students of today and students of tomorrow look up and go and play in our arena, they'll know that that there were people that were committed to this school who truly embodied those principles. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Mrs. Gail Benson.
Thank you, Dennis. And I would like to thank you all for that warm welcome tonight. I really appreciate it. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank Father Franck for this beautiful presentation tonight and for your continued leadership here at Jesuit High School. In addition, I am pleased to acknowledge Leslie Merritt for your kind words to the many donors that have helped transform the classrooms, modernizing them with upgraded technology. And of course, the wonderful teachers and staff here at Jesuit. They have dedicated their time into educating these fine young, but also taking part in supporting this campaign, not only financially, but also through prayer and volunteerism. If there is one thing we know about Jesuit, it is faith that drives their success. In addition, what makes us all so proud to be here tonight and support this great institution are students like Langston Goldenberg, who was my former neighbor. Your thoughtful comments were very heartfelt. Thank you, Langston, and thank you to the entire student body. John Zollinger spoke about another important element of Jesuit success, the alumni. One thing is very clear. If you know anything about Jesuit High School, there is tremendous alumni support. It speaks volumes to the character of the generations of young men that pass through these halls and the transformative education they receive while they are here. My connection to Jesuit comes primarily through Dennis Lasher. I'm so proud to say our team president, both Pelicans and Saints, and Greg Bensel, our senior vice president. Both have been a large part of our executive staff for more than 20 years each. And I am honored to acknowledge both Dennis and Greg as we work together very closely every day. In addition, they have both been incredibly loyal to my late husband, Tom Benson, for more than 20 years. I am very proud of them and their work ethic, and I am certain they meet the high standards set forth on this campus of what it means to be a Jesuit man. Which brings me to the Minds and Hearts Enlightened campaign. When we make a decision to contribute financially to a campaign or a cause, it is imperative that it meets the high standards and strong beliefs in faith that have always been important to my late husband Tom and me. AMDG, for the greater glory of God, the core values of Jesuit High School and a Jesuit education are rooted in caring for others, finding the good in all things, and the unity of the mind and the heart, the whole person. Those basic standards have been in place at Jesuit High School since 1847. The rich history of this school is unparalleled, and the many lives impacted are countless. That is why giving this donation to this great high school today is very easy. Thank you all again, and may you all receive many continued blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. We all know that this campaign, the Minds and Hearts Enlightened campaign, has been the work and vision of 3 presidents here at Jesuit, and all of us who've been working on the campaign know what a giant impact on the campaign our current president, Father Christopher Franck, has had. Father Franck, your leadership and your vision and, frankly, your muscle behind this campaign has made it the great success that it's been so far and the success that it will be. So I introduce to you Father Franck.
Mrs. Benson, in her humility, did not mention that the gift from her foundation is in the amount of $5 million. And in appreciation of that, our gym will now be known as the Gail and Tom Benson Arena. Thank you. I thank our honorary and operational chairs who have done so much for this campaign already and have set us up for success as we move into the public stage. And I thank the members of our outstanding faculty and staff. On a daily basis, they embrace our mission as they develop in our young men the competence, conscience, and compassion that prepares them to make a difference in our world. The name of our capital campaign is called the Minds and Hearts Enlightened campaign, and that's what's done here on a daily basis. Our faculty and staff challenge each of our students to be the best that they can be. They enlighten their minds and hearts. And for the Blue Jays in the audience, you know that it's also a line from our alma mater, and so it's a real connection for everyone across the years. Now we are approaching our 100th anniversary at this campus, and we're preparing for the next 100 years. We're focused on increasing our endowment so that Jesuit always remains affordable, and improving our facilities so that we stay on the cutting edge of education. Our affordability and ongoing capital projects keep us as the market leader in Catholic education in New Orleans. We attract new families to this program of formation that has the best resources for forming men of faith and men for others. Now, despite some challenges in recent months, Jesuit and this campaign continue to push forward. Jesuit has been, is, and will continue to be a leader in this community and beyond. I'm also pleased to report that this campaign stretches well beyond New Orleans. My team and I have spent the last year traveling across the country. Father Brown traveled by car through the Southwest and West Coast, visiting alums in many different states. Tom Bagwell and I have met with alumni and formed official leadership teams in Atlanta, Austin, Chicago, Houston, New York, Washington, D.C., and we're just getting started. The Blue Jays we've spent time with are hundreds of miles from Carrollton and Banks, but these visits keep them connected. At this stage of the campaign, I am pleased to report that we are at the $18.2 million pledge mark. That is great news, but I have more good news to share. A benefactor who wishes to remain anonymous has presented us with a challenge pledge. If we make it to the $25 million mark, or I should say, when we make it to the $25 million mark before the end of this calendar year, he will contribute a gift of $5 million. In essence, practically matching every gift received in the next year, dollar for dollar. Now we need your support. And Langston, I'm passionate about the work we're doing at Jesuit. And I'm passionate about the Minds and Hearts Enlightened campaign. We're all in this together. And our goal is to make men of faith and men for others. Please join us in advancing the mission of Jesuit High School. Thank you.
And thank you all for being here. I recognize a whole lot of faces in here. I've met with so many of you, and you've all been incredibly generous. The next part of our presentation will be a short guided walkthrough to have a peek at some of the work already completed in the classrooms, and then on to the renovated Gail and Tom Benson Arena for some refreshments, maybe Dixie beer. If you would all follow Matt Grau, our alumni director, or maybe Tom Bagwell. How about I'll follow Tom Bagwell through this door, and then you'll go up the big stairs in the middle of the yard. He'll show you around the way, and I'll meet you all across the street, across Bank Street. Thank you.